Hey everybody, welcome back to CDS Automotive Diagnostics. This is Corey here. Today I've got a 2007 Chevy Silverado 1500 half-ton. I got it racked, but I've left the pressure off the frame. The frame's getting pretty soft, pretty rotted. But I just wanted to bring you guys with, we got a P0449 evap vent solenoid control circuit. Fairly common on these GM applications, not just the trucks. But pretty much across the board. But I just wanted to bring you with and kind of show you my process and go through it quick with you guys to show you how I do this as less invasively as possible, with everything being as salt-ridden and crusty as it is. I don't want to instill more problems into an already deteriorating vehicle. So I went ahead and pulled the code. I actually did a full vehicle scan, as I always do. We've got a battery maintainer hooked up on the battery, so we've got the key on. So we're in the scan tool here. We don't have to worry about our battery depleting. So off this frame, we're going to go with the active test. We're going to go over our vent solenoid, and you can see there we've got an on-off button that will let us command that. Now I already went ahead and hooked up some front probing leads, the correct size for the other half female connectors there on the vehicle. Our vent solenoid is right there. So what I like to do is I like to check pin tension and fitment on these. So I find the right size, check that, go ahead and do a bypass test dynamically. Switch you here. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle this on and off. Sorry, that won't be in the same screen. Get you on the scope there and our test light. And that is a 194, so that's about a quarter amp, 300 milliamps, somewhere in there. And I find that those are adequate in my experience for testing this specific circuit. So we're going to go ahead and click on, and we see our light lights up. But I also always like to measure voltage when performing this test. I never want to go just off the brightness of the bulb. That can be very misleading. So I always hook some sort of measurement, whether it's a scope or a meter or something of that nature, to actually measure voltage while we load test the circuit. So you can see, let's turn that off there on the scan tool. You kind of see, click that on, click that off. Okay, so obviously the PCM has control over this, and we've just load tested the circuit and performed voltage drop testing, all of which we found is okay. So that leaves us with a failed vent solenoid. No surprise. But I will warn you, if you're doing some testing on these, when you take the old vent solenoid out, always tap them out, like out of the inlet or the outlet, or both would be best, but tap it on a clean surface. And if any black crumbly pieces come out, that's actually charcoal from the charcoal canister, which is located right here. And that could be a sign that the charcoal canister is starting to come apart internally and start to work through the system. And you obviously don't want that. So you just don't ever want to run into the point where you call a component and there's an underlying concern as to why that component failed, and you just basically fixed the effect of the problem but not the cause. But in this case, yeah, we've got a failed solenoid. I have not removed it to tap it out, but that is always a step that I do when taking out evap related components. Always make sure there's no debris going through the system. Thanks for watching, guys. We will see you on the next one.